How's it going, everyone? I am here with my buddy, one of my best friends and everything, William, and on today's episode, for episode 3 for my One Piece. And introduce yourself, William. Let them know who you are and what you be doing.
Sup, William? Um, I just work and
Here, I'll help you out. What is it? Introduce yourself by your name, and then what do you do for work? Like, what do you do for work?
good. So, my name is William, and for work, I sell cars as well as I've got a few things doing that I'm doing on the side. I have a sneaker sales and consignment business that I co-own with a couple buddies of mine, as well as I'm starting a moving company with a different buddy of mine. Um, And other than that, I just go to the gym.
Go to the gym. Nice, nice. So it looks like you're not just you don't just stick to one like type of project for like work. It seems like you're just slowly improving and growing into other like other beneficial entrepreneur stuff. What is it? I remember you were also telling me like about a little a bar that you might be working or a club that you might be working on.
So had to put that one on the back burner. A
Okay.
couple of the investors I had fell through.
All right.
So probably sometime, around May, maybe in the spring is when we'll have that going.
All right, perfect. Then, yeah, I know a little bit of that, like the details behind it. So I'll put those for like when you start working on it, because I don't want to give away your secrets on that. But what is it?
Cool.
Uh, what is it? Well, getting to introduce ourselves, like between, like I remember the first time I met you, it was at the gym, right, with Marcos and everything. I think that's the very first time we ever saw each other. I think so. And
Hmm.
then and ever uh when I first met you, I was like, all right, it just looks like another like older dad. That's all I could see. It was like just an older dad working out and everything. And then I didn't like at that moment when I saw you, I was like, it's just a like someone just passing by and everything. But like then I came to realize like we actually became friends and everything like that. And one of our favorite things to talk about when we're hanging out is one of our favorite shows. It's called Vete la Vish, right?
That's right.
It's hilarious because just alone, like I was telling William right now that before like we jumped onto the live thing, I was telling him like you're the only person that like you personally are the only person that can like knock out that perfect voice, and I don't get how. I think it's just that deep voice you give it with that character, and it's perfect. But it's hilarious how like out of nowhere we just look at each other or like we're hanging out with friends and everything, and we just give little like say little things from that show Vete la Vesh, and oh, it just gets us laughing. Linguatazos. Like that has to be my favorite one that you be saying.
Yeah.
uh,
No,
but
it's super good.
it is super good, man. But what is it? Tell me, like, I you're starting up your business and everything for that that your shoe company, pretty much. Tell me how is someone like to go about starting something like that, something similar, and like what type of sources or resources do you need to like get something like that started?
Well, I mean, I think the important part for anything is you have to want to be willing to do something like that.
Hmm.
Um, Realistically, I mean, a lot of where my drive comes from is keeping me sane. I mean, I have ADHD, and so I'm always chasing that dopamine, or as I say, riding that dopamine wave.
Hmm.
Um, trying to uh, like not be bored all the time. So that's a
Yeah.
big part of it too. As well as I've always loved the idea of building a business, um, being able to see something grow, build something yourself, as well as my all-time favorite game is Monopoly. So I often say that. I live real life Monopoly, and I'm just working on, buying different places at the moment on my Monopoly game. So, but I mean, it's starting a business and being an entrepreneur is one of the hardest things you can do. There's definitely, a large reward, um, and a high risk that you put in, but the more risk, the better reward you can get out. So I definitely say mindset is the most important part. You have to have that killer instinct, and even when it's like super late and you're tired and you just don't want to do anything, yet you got to put the time in, because something like that's not going to make you money right away. Most businesses don't make money for about a year, um, but even still, you got to be willing to work your job and stay active and do all that stuff. So I definitely say the first part for sure is, mindset and discipline, which is the hardest part. After that, you just got to come up with, a good idea, find like something that is starting to become popular. Um, I have a buddy who's super into shoes, and he has a friend that introduced me, and that's how we got together. So I'm still learning about the shoe thing.
Mhm.
Um, I'm learning like the differences between a Dunk Low and a Jordan 1 Low, which for most people they look exactly the same, and to me they still kind of do. Um, but learning things like that. But they saw that there was a need for like a better sneaker sales presence and a better store, which is eventually our plan.
Mhm.
And so finding something like that, and then people who can build you up, and support you and feed off of each other is important too.
That is nice, yeah, because one I do know there's only here in Utah, I think there's only like that I've seen personally, one store that like actually has like a like those more expensive shoes, like just because they're more
Yeah.
collectible and everything. But
Hmm.
the one thing I have noticed with you, when every time you talk about like new businesses and everything, you know what to target, like what type of market to target. You know what people need and what people want, so you're always coming up with ideas and everything like that. Like I'm not going way more into detail because again, like those are your secrets. I don't want anyone else taking those things from you. But it's just like when you were telling us some of the things that you want to do for some stuff, I was like, damn. It's like holy fuck, like that would make life easy for everyone. And like you just like I feel like you find like that you have like a keen or like a way of find like easily what is it you know what the people want and you know what you can do to like provide that when it comes to business and everything like that. So I think you and your buddies that are like making another store, like want to make an actual store, is actually pretty great because there in California, I feel like that's where it's more popular and everything. Like, there's stores everywhere. There's even just like random back alleys where you can just run into like a building and there's a little store there. But being able to do it in a different state and bringing like knowing there's customers out here that are easily like willing to like put the money for that. I think it's a great little business that you guys are starting up and everything. And like
Yeah.
how long have you been doing that? Because I know earlier, like a couple months ago, I first saw you like with like those new shoes, like what are they called? The are they you see
The red ones
I'm
or the blue ones?
yeah. I'm not good with shoes. I just know that they're like
It's okay.
Nikes, but I can't. Oh, like I know the difference between like the Air Jordans or like the Air Force Ones, or stuff like that. Just the logo. That's all I know.
Yeah.
But like, what like did you were you jumping into that when you first got those shoes, or have you been invested into this already for a longer time than that?
So, uh, when I was working in sales, where I work
Hmm.
now, um, a new kid came on, and he kind of got everyone into the sneaker bug type thing at work. And
Okay.
so he, as being someone that's always interested in business and entrepreneurship ideas and making money,
Hmm.
um, we got to talking, and he said that he and a buddy of his were doing it on the side. um, and so I offered my services and my strong points, to where, like, I may not be good with shoes, but like I'm good at like marketing and operational stuff, and I can do a little bit of um, of like accounting stuff, not
Mhm.
like super extensively, but enough to get us going.
Yeah.
And so he introduced me to his other buddy. And around that time, I'd bought my first pair, which are Jordan 1 Band mids. Um, all the shoes have super long names, which are like basically a red and black pair
Mhm.
um, of like Jordan's original shoes. Um, and so it was shortly after that we just started going, and we've been going since about beginning of September. About a week ago, we officially became an LLC, um, and so now we're just working on getting our business plan nailed down, and we've got a couple investors lined up, so should be pretty good.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah, that's great. One thing I did notice as well, what is it? Like when I saw your shoes, I was like, I swear I've seen something like that, and then I'm like, oh, I forget. My brother's also a shoe fanatic. Like I here and there, like my brother surprises me with his shoes to this day and everything. He always pulls out these different shoes and everything, and I'm like, why don't you ever wear these? He's like, it's like, I don't know, I just don't have the right clothing to wear them with. And then another little shoe fanatic that's kind of like rising, and I think it's mainly not because of my brother, but because of watching like YouTubers. My youngest brother, he also loves like like nice expensive shoes and everything like that. And we're like, why don't you ever wear them? He's like, because nothing ever matches. And then we look at his like outfits and everything. It's always like black on black and everything. And these shoes are like majorly colorful. And I'm like, those colorful shoes like match everything. Just toss on a white shirt,
Yeah.
black pants, and boom, just like that. You got that simple look, or just like something simple. Like the main attraction are those shoes when it comes to
Mm.
like dressing up and like looking nice. Like whatever you toss on, just make sure it goes with the flow. That's all you have to really do. But it's just weird how like back in the day I always thought like shoes are like they're pointless. Like they're just you're just gonna wear them. You're gonna ruin them and just get new ones, right? And like as I got older, I was like, holy crap! Like I had some of those shoes, and there's these Jordans that are I can't remember what they're called, but they're mad expensive now. But I had those Jordans when they first released and everything, and I took them to school back in high school, and out of nowhere. I left them overnight, and when I got back to school the next day, I left them in the gym lockers and they were stolen. The next when I got there, I'm like,
Mm.
and I know to this day, I know it was one of the football players. That's all I know.
That's
but
what.
and then yeah, because back in the day, I think they were only like $150, and now to this day, I remember pulling up like on a TikTok just showing like different collections that people have of Jordans. I think they were mentioning they're like $500 now or something like that. I'm like, oh, I was like, I could have been like bougie. And then the thing is, I have not changed like shoe size since I've gotten out of high school. So I'm still like in the like I'm on the average foot size where it's like 10 and a half or like 11, you know? Like that's where I've seen a lot of shoe entrepreneurs are like they get a shit ton of those like shoes because that's what a lot of people wear. Like that size. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, like I could have been rocking some nice shoes or just sold them. Because one thing I love taking care of my shoes. That was one thing because I got a like major addiction when it came like back in school. I was really addicted to Adidas after they stole my Jordans actually. After they stole my Jordans, I started collecting all these like Adidas shoes, and it wasn't more of a collection, it was just more like I want to have the same designed Adidas but different colors. And so that's what I would do. And I think I still have him, but throughout the whole year, I there were these. It was like this black and white, like colored Adidas, like high tops that I had, and I it was before like it was popular where they would like put the little sole protectors or whatever, so that way you don't crease them or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the tip stuff, and I would walk all weird and everything like that because I don't want to crease him and everything. And he's like, I would keep him so clean and clean him so much to the point where like even when you would like smell the shoe inside, it would still smell like that new shoe smell. Because I would only wear
Nice.
like new socks and everything. I'd make sure I wouldn't wear like a like what is it a second pair again on there because that's when it starts to stink. And I would only wear white socks as well because I knew like black socks would like damage the color inside sometimes on like those white soles and like insides. So I went for a whole year without like, and they looked like major pristine and everything still. And then I stopped wearing them because I got out of like that little phase of wearing those shoes. And my cousin's like, "Oh, do you have any shoes I can borrow?" I'm like, "Well, I have some of my old Adidas," and he got my white and black like colored Adidas. And the following day, he brings them back. They're all dirty, like all creased up and everything. I'm like, I worked so hard on keeping those like pristine. Like they're not worth anything right now, but it was just like it's like the struggle behind that, and it just makes me laugh because I see my siblings right now because they just bought some Air Forces and some Air Maxes, and I see my sister walking all weird because she wants to keep her shoes pristine. My little brother just barely got like that tip crease preventing thing, whatever, on his Air
Mhm.
Forces. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, kids. And my the funny thing is with my brother, does he buys the shoes, but he doesn't care if he creases them because he has the same ones like the red and blue ones that you have. I know he has the blue ones, and I know he has the green ones. But yeah, he's like I bought them because I wanted them. If they crease, they crease. He's like I wasn't trying to sell them back again. And the thing that sucks is it's hard for him sometimes to find shoes because he's a size like 13 or 14. And so
Mm.
he's like on top of that, who's gonna buy big ass shoes when it comes to this? I'm like, you right, you right.
Yeah,
So
the market for that size isn't as big. All you got to do though, if you want to get your creases out, and this is
mhm,
something I recently learned, you just get like a cotton T-shirt,
mhm.
um, and you put it over your shoe, and you just iron it like you would your shirt, and it'll get the
Okay.
creases out.
Oh, nice. Well, like, what are other little tips that you've learned after being like jumping into like this type of business and everything? What's like other little tips and
Um,
tricks you can teach people?
so the best way to clean your shoes, and my list is not very long. It's just
Hmm.
the ironing thing, and then how to clean a. You get like Dawn dish soap.
Okay.
The stuff they use that stuff to like clean oil off of animals after an oil spill. So you just get that and a little toothbrush, and you can clean your shoes till they look almost perfect.
Damn. Yeah. So you can go ham on them. So what is
Hmm.
it? Have you seen some of those uh some of those videos online where it's like they either recreate like they find some like really dirty shoes and stuff like that and they like clean them up and like pretty much make them look like brand new. Do you
Yeah,
do you run into a lot of those type of shoes where they like what is it called?
refurbished.
Refurbished. Yeah, when they refurbish them, do you have you guys ran into those situations where people still try to sell for like a high price when they're refurbished? Or do you guys like, do you handle a lot of the marketing behind that, or like, or
So
do your friends do?
so my buddies are so one of my buddies he does the acquisitions part.
Hmm.
So he handles acquiring like the new products. And then my other buddy, he's the one who handles more of the sales. And so um, I do more organizational stuff.
Okay.
So um, I don't deal with that part too much, but
Hmm.
from what I know, um, right now, like most, we don't do a ton of consignment because we're still building up like our customer base.
Yeah.
So I haven't encountered that too much, but I mean, as long as I mean, there are certain levels like you would value a car. Like most people are more familiar with maybe like Kelly Blue Book,
Hmm.
where you can like rate after you go, and put in all the information that the car has. You can evaluate like the condition,
Yeah.
and so they do that with shoes too. I know they look at like creases, quality of the leather, scuffs, scratches. I'll go into that. Um, on the toe of Jordans,
Hmm.
um, it's called the star rating, and that's because on the toe they've got stars, and depending upon how worn, faded, or
Oh,
scuffed,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen
yeah,
those. Yeah, the at the bottom part of the shoe, right? Like it kind of curves up
yeah,
of
uh
that.
huh,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, right on the toe.
Mhm.
So you can tell if someone's walked in them or used them a ton, um, based on how many stars are left.
Oh.
Yeah, all stuff I'm learning. So
It's you like you wouldn't like a lot of people wouldn't like realize like people that are getting into this sometimes these business they're like way like focused on the small details like you were just talking about. I didn't even know that they had to like worry about like the front like star thing. I'm like, damn, I just thought like if it looks nice and it looks wearable, it can sell. But no, apparently there's like all these little small details that people have to worry about, like if they want to sell their shoes or if they're trying to buy shoes off of someone, so that way they also don't get
yeah,
ripped off, right? Like,
yeah,
what is
it's
it? Go for it.
it's extremely intricate. I mean, a little small detail like that can mean, 50, $60, even $100 difference in what you can
Nice.
sell them for.
Damn, that's crazy. What is it? So, you've seen the like the collections that you guys are building up and everything. Are there any shoes that
Mhm.
you get like tempted? You're like, oh, I really want those shoes.
All the time.
All the
Yeah, all the time. I mean, they drop shoes almost daily,
Mhm,
different types of shoes. I mean, I decided because I have a brother that I work with.
mhm,
Um, he started collecting shoes before I got into the actual business. He's one of our best customers, but he's got everything. He's got almost every single type of Jordan. Um, and then so to be different,
mhm.
I decided that I would only do like Jordan ones. And so, especially like the Jordan 1 highs are my favorites.
Yeah.
And we recently released, or well, they recently dropped these pair of like burgundy with like a silver, the silver Nike swoosh. They look really, really good.
Mhm.
But, but if I keep them, then I can't make money off of them. So,
Yeah. And a lot of people have to realize, like, if you're jumping into this business, either you're going to be a collector yourself or you're going to be the one making the money. So you have to
yeah,
keep cycling through. Like, you can hold what shoes you wanted for like for yourself, like for a second, but if you really want to make that money, sometimes you got to get rid of those shoes that you really wanted to wear yourself.
yep,
I
yep,
mean, I bet once you make it, like once you're up there, like making a lot of money, I bet you're gonna buy yourself those shoes but still have multiple other shoes of that same brand so that way you can sell. It's
yep.
just having like just more money to either like provide for yourself like that treatment or just consistently put the grind and never get those shoes again. But
Yep.
what is it? Uh yeah, going, let's see. What was the other business that you were again talking about that you started up and everything?
The moving company.
Moving company. So
Yeah.
how does someone go off about that? Like, is it something like a U-Haul thing or like just getting a bunch of people and like they just you just pay them and they help you move shit? Like what type of company is it that you're going for on that?
Yeah. So we do mostly like, how do you explain it? Um, so like the way we get customers is like we'll go to like apartment complexes and leave
Mhm.
flyers. We also are talking to a few of the bigger ones. That way, if they've got people moving out or moving in, we can be a resource that they recommend to people.
Okay.
We also work with like transport companies, um, that transport or move people from, out of state. Like we have a few drivers that we work with that they'll call us up and be like, "Hey, I've got a load from California.
Okay.
I'd like to hire you guys, to empty out my truck." Um, when we do like most local people, though,
Mhm.
um, at the moment, um, we just use a U-Haul. We
Yeah.
get a U-Haul, which is just part of the out the door bill. Um, and then typically it just takes like two or three of us, and we can get it done pretty quick. But the plan with that is obviously to get big enough and have enough customers that we don't have to do the moving ourselves
Oh.
for too much longer.
Please tell me that your uniform is crop top and short shorts because man, oof, man, I could see you coming out like out of that truck just like that.
We need to get matching ones, yeah, and like
You need to hire Marco so that way he can be there, so that way he can pop them squats, bro.
That's right. We'll be like the moving company version of Hooters.
But with all just men, like nuts.
Yeah.
Just go to the gyms and be like, hey, do you want to make quick cash? Just help me move some stuff. And you give him the uniform and boom, that's how you attract the customers, man. That's what you do. You attract those
There you
older
go.
older ladies or those younger ladies that just like, you know what, I need probably help moving my stuff. And just like that, you put
Yeah.
in the hustle to like talk to girls.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win, bro. Look at that.
They they've got granddaughters, maybe, and
They have
depending
nieces
upon how, yeah, that's right.
of age for sure. We'll say that 18 and up, please.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Oh, but yeah. So have you also on that business? Have you been putting a lot of time, or is this again something recent that you just started up?
Um, I've been doing it. We've been doing it over the summer for the
Hmm.
most part. Um, so the summer it was just more like passing out, those leaflets. Um, but now we're, trying to get a little bit more serious, as well as just always hungry for more money. Um, so now we're trying to figure out a way to grow it bigger,
Okay.
so we don't have to do it as often.
No, makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. What is it? That is one of the things. Like, it's just patience behind a lot of these entrepreneur businesses and everything. It's just having patience. Again, you said like it's really high risk situations where at the beginning, pretty much not going to see much revenue or any type of like income like at the beginning. But if you keep sticking through it and play your cards right, at the end, you're gonna just realize like, oh, I never have to work anymore, like, because you have like different residual incomes, and it's just like they all run themselves at this point. And that's one of the
Yeah.
things as well when it comes to like people streaming on Twitch or anything like that. Like, a lot
Hmm.
of people, they're like, oh, you're just wasting your time. I'm like, well, I have to put in time, to be honest. Like, have to build and show a lot of content and everything, attract eyes, because I also have to go on different social media platforms, advertise my own stuff there. And that's the cool thing about like now and day age is that you have your free advertising on your phone. Like, you can literally use your phone, put the stuff that you need to advertise on all social media platforms, and it's free advertising. But because back in the day, the only way you could advertise was pay someone to push that stuff out there for you. And I think it's
Yeah.
a perfect era for us to like grow and do these entrepreneurial stuff because it's easy. Like, right before we jumped on here, I went on some of my social media platforms and I was like, "Oh, I'm live today, watch this and all this other stuff." And yeah, I think it's way easy and it's just a simple like couple taps on your phone and that's it. And,
Yeah.
but again,
Well,
it go for it.
and the important thing to keep in mind too, I mean, I think a lot of people think, or they hear, like, when you're starting your own business, it's
Hmm.
like, oh, you won't be in the positive for a year. It's not that. I mean, like, with shoes, for example, I mean, there's no way, like, if you can't be in the negative, because if you can't sell a pair of shoes, you just return them.
Hmm.
You don't lose your money. So you got to be careful of things like that. Or, like, we make good money every time we move an old lady, right? So it's being able to have the discipline to not take a profit when you could,
Hmm.
so you can reinvest it into making
So,
it more money and having that residual income. Because there's a difference between, like, realistically, your 9 to 5 job hourly, it's a liability. It's not an asset. It's not a revenue source, because
hmm,
if you stop working, you don't make money anymore.
yeah,
Um, Even if you buy a home, it's not an asset, because if you stop paying or you don't make any money, they'll kick you out. You know,
yeah,
but if you got, like, an investment property, that's when it's completely different. And so being able to not only being smart with your money that you're using for your business to buy things like investment properties. That's how you build that residual income.
Yeah, usually on these moments, it's just like you have to think before you do like anything like big purchases or anything like that. Just always think like, is it gonna attract more money? Like, am I gonna benefit out of this? Like in any situation. Like, I remember back in the day when I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh, I was I became a vendor for like a good while, and I was consistently buying. Like, what I had to do at first was like buy a bunch of bulk stuff, like that way I can have some type of supply for people. But once I
Mm-hmm.
started making better money on that, like I would take only certain cards. I wouldn't just buy random cards here and there, because I realized I had to like go through it so I can realize that doing what I was doing at the beginning, it was way awful because I was not
Yep.
making fast money. And the only way I was making fast money was by only having the cards that were important. And at that moment, because if I didn't have him, I wasn't making money. So I had to build up more money to get that. And one of the things that I love to hear is where Gary Vee talks about um, like keep your job until your second your second business or whatever you're working on is making at least double the money. Like once you're
Right.
making that double amount of money, get out of that job. Just have that job so that way it can provide your current like entrepreneurial thing, like so that way you have money coming into that business. Like you have to have some type of source of income to keep providing, like not, you don't have to be personally like providing that money, but like you have to have some type of money flow going into that business, because if there's no money flow, businesses usually like tend to drop down and everything like that. It's just no way
Yeah.
of like going through. So he tells people like keep your job in until you start making, like you see those changes, or if you're at least making the same, you quit the job. But I highly recommend always quitting your job after you make double the amount that you'd be making now. And I think it's one of the greatest things to like. I love hearing Gary Vee because another thing was that he says, I give all this advice. Like, it's perfect advice. You can run your business, you can do all this, but a lot of people won't do it. It's like, that's why I throw it out, let people know. And just knowing like uh, people don't really do it just opens my eyes up. Like, you know what? I can conquer that market real quick, faster, just because I know other people, like you said, won't do it themselves, you know? And I think that's same kind of idea that you have. Like you just love jumping onto different projects, and I think it's a great idea because in the future, this one of these is going to work out perfectly for you, and you were there, you know, from the start. And I, I don't know. I just think early businesses, like once I start making money, I will also want to invest into other businesses. So once I start making like better money and everything, I'll hit you up because I do want to invest in some of the businesses that you be doing, because I'm like, all right, I can get my toe in there at least.
For sure, dude. No, and that's all residual income is, you
Hmm.
know. Um, that's all it is. It's being able to have money coming in when you're sleeping, you know. I saw a quote this morning on one of the Instagrams I follow that said like you can sleep or you can stay in bed when you're making money whether you're in bed or not.
That
And
is true.
so that's all that residual income is. And Gary Vee's really good. He gives a shit ton of free info that you really shouldn't. There's a lot of guys who do that, and people don't take advantage of it
Hmm.
because not because they don't want to or they don't try. A lot of people try, but once you try and realize how hard it is and how much discipline it requires, like you got to be doing it every single day,
Yeah,
because the harder you put into it and the more you work into it is the you'll get that much more out of it.
yeah, it is
And the
true. It's
people and
go for it.
people that aren't consistent, it becomes super hard and it takes 10 times longer, and then they just quit because they don't have that discipline.
Very true, very true. The way I see it is like it's sunshine and rainbows, like when it comes to like if you hear someone about being an entrepreneur and everything, but you don't realize that sometimes those entrepreneurs, they don't sometimes have enough to get a really good meal throughout the week and everything like that, because they're investing so much time, and all their money is pretty much going into like their businesses and everything like that. Like you have to do a lot of sacrifices, and on top of that, it's pretty much another job. And say if you be lacking on your entrepreneurship compared to, so if you lack at your current job, like whatever you're working on, like working at, if you lack on there, they're gonna fire you because they want someone consistently like doing the job or getting the job done right and all this other stuff. So if you bring that same mentality into an entrepreneurship, if you think it's just going to work itself, no, it's not going to work like that. If you create an amazing app, like, and it brings you a shit ton of money, go for it. But like, you have to put in that time and put every little detail, any little chance, any time that you have available, that goes straight to your entrepreneurship because that business is running by you. So if you're lacking, your business is lacking. That's the way I see it. And I'm like, oh, like that's why when I started up this thing, I'm like, no, I need to take a quick, like a good amount of time so that way I can like build it right because I don't want to just like half-ass it once I like start doing this and everything. So I created all this other stuff and I ain't gonna lie. I regret doing this to a point, but I know it's gonna pay off at the end for sure. Because having to
For sure.
upload these videos, make sure like they're not getting like censored or anything like that, or like even just sharing small clips from the podcast and everything, is just doing all that is a pain in the ass, but I'm okay with it at the end. I'm willing to deal with it just so that way I can see something in the future.
Yeah. Well, and that's the important part is, I mean, it's a lot of people, you know, try to find those like get rich quick programs, and or like those quick to money stuff,
Hmm.
or they'll see someone, like for example, streaming themselves playing video games. I mean, anybody, like you were saying, there's so much more that goes into stuff like that that people
Hmm.
don't understand. I mean, from the outside, someone who doesn't know much about it might just be like, "Oh yeah, he's playing a game," but you also have to not suck at that game, and
Yeah.
play often enough to like be better than everybody else and be worth
Hmm.
watching, and then learning how to record videos, to post them, all that whole marketing aspect. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. And then yeah, if you want to be able to eat, at least a meal a day, you do have to be working. You do have to be working hard,
Yeah.
and it's really tough. But I mean, you have to have a why. I mean, one of my mentors, he's the general manager at the dealership I work with. um, he uh, he always talks about the why. You have to have a reason why. Like if you want to be a millionaire or beyond, or um, have um, you know, what he calls fuck you money.
Hmm.
If you want to have that, there has to be a good enough reason why. So when it's like, 3 o'clock in the morning and you're super tired and you just want to go to sleep, and you got to wake up the next morning at like 8 o'clock to like take your kids to school, or get to work, like there has to be something that makes it worth it. Otherwise, it won't be.
Very true. Because you have to have that little motivation to keep driving you. And I remember when I brought on Marcos, he was talking about that motivation is the first step, but the following thing is staying consistent and like being disciplined to continue doing that because motivation is only going to be there for a little bit. It's not going to
Yep.
carry you throughout the whole thing. So you have to stay consistent. You have to keep repeating doing the same things over and over again. It may be tiring, it may be boring, but just staying consistent with it, you're going to see those results at one point and everything. So
Yeah.
it's just again it comes to being patient and all this stuff. One of my favorite so my why behind like all this stuff, what is it? So wait, did you mention your why again? Sorry. No? What's
No.
your why? What's your why, bro?
Well, I mean, it's pretty complicated to explain. I mean, I'm the son of an immigrant, so
Mhm.
my dad's from Northern Ireland, so I'm first generation here, in the U.S. And um, education is always something that's been really important, for my dad. Growing up in Ireland, it's a little bit different. Like, well, pretty much only in the US is the only place that kids don't graduate at 16, which
Mhm.
I'm sure. I mean, I remember when I heard that people graduate at 16 in every other place in the world other than the US, I was pretty jealous. But I hated school. But um, so my dad, after graduating, he was told that he couldn't he wouldn't be good at school. He wasn't adept for learning, and so in Ireland, you either in those days either went to school or did a trade. And the trade he did was carpentry, and he did that for 7 years. Later, immigrating, to the U.S., he met my mom. They started a family.
Mhm.
I'm originally from Southern California, and in pursuing school, they moved to Utah. He went to school at the U, and so because we were, my dad being first generation, going to school full time, working full time, at the
Yeah.
same time, both my parents love families, they love children. They had 6 kids, so he's working full time, going to school full time. All at the same time was my soccer coach all growing up. Never missed never missed an event that I did in sports. Would often play catch with me, and but it was hard. Like my parents busted ass. Like
Mhm.
my mom, a lot of times in those beginning years when we were in Utah, like I wore clothes that she made by hand. You know, she'd get like clearance items um, from like Joann's or whatever, and that's what she'd make my brother and I. That's what she'd make our clothes out of. And so, growing up, definitely like not having not having that. I mean, obviously, everyone watches like movie or TVs or whatever, or like going to school with kids that had it. Um, you know, it definitely creates a deep seated desire to want that.
Mhm.
Um, and I've decided from a very young age that I'm so grateful for what my dad did or what my parents did.
Yeah.
Number one, I mean, my plan is to be, because they're still sacrificing right now.
Mhm.
My mom's working 2 jobs, my dad's working full time. And so my plan for them is I want to be their retirement plan. you know do stuff for them to give back to them, because they sacrificed their dreams. And so, for that reason, I want to make my dreams to be something that gives them, you know back everything they sacrificed and more.
Yeah.
As well as I've got 3 kids of my own. I'm divorced, so I don't get to see them all the time, and
Mhm.
so definitely, I work hard, and I want to have enough money to be able to have what I've built carry on from generation to generation. Something that will influence and benefit, my bloodline forever. So, which is, an ideology I've taken from a few different mentors of mine.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I love that, man. It sounds like you've seen your parents put in the grind, so I feel like that's what also is like motivated you, or like consistently tells you like I also have to be putting like the grind, like you were saying, like you have to put in the grind because at one point I bet you want to make their life comfortable for them, like you were saying, and everything. So I love how that's like the perfect why and everything. And like when you mentioned your kids, one of my favorite things the most is when I went over to your house one day and your kids kept popping out, "Hey, Dad," and to me that doesn't bother me whatsoever because a family is a family. If you want to spend time with them, I'm not gonna bother someone. It's like for like, if I would go over to your place, I'm like, no, just ignore your kids and everything like that. Like, no, I would never tell that to anyone. Like, keep focus on those kids and everything like that. But the cutest thing is still is when you sent me that, like you sent me and Marcos that picture of you and your kid, your son, wearing the Spider-Man outfits and everything. I thought it was so
Yep,
perfect. I was like, oh, it's great.
yep.
But
I've indoctrinated them well.
nice. But yeah, so that was your way. Mine's pretty simple. I didn't like come up with it myself. I've heard Gary Vee actually say it, and ever since then, I keep saying it's my why. And it's my why is you're gonna die. That's it. You're gonna die. So just knowing that, I want to do everything before I die. So that's why I'm like
Yeah.
pushing myself to do all this stuff, and that's where it comes into like effect as well. Like you've seen me in public or like when we're just hanging out and everything like that. I do a lot of stupid shit. Say pretty much everything. Just come up with like random jokes here and there. Do a lot of like gay stuff, but it's with the homies. But I do all that stuff and because I know like I'm having fun and I'm living my only life that I got because I'm gonna die at one point in my life. So I might as well do it right now, you
100%.
know? So that's my thing. And like that's why I'm dipping my toe here and there and all this other stuff. And yeah. I remember with when I was with my ex, we she wanted to do like this little cute little thing where we would like get canvases and paint on them and then like we create something like that and then we write something on the canvas like a motivational thing. And, when I wrote mine, she's like why are you so negative? Like, what are you talking about? She's like, that. How is that supposed to motivate someone that you're gonna die? I'm like, how is it not gonna motivate anyone? Like, you're literally
You
gonna
are
die,
though. Yeah.
right? You're gonna die, so might as well do it. So yeah, I still have that canvas and everything, and oh, I love it. It's just it reminds me every time I look at it, I'm like, you're gonna die. You're like, you know what? You're right. So I'm gonna get up and do what I need to do. You know. So that's what keeps motivating me. Like there's other little stuff here and there, but I feel like that's the best way for me to explain what I'm trying to follow and what I'm trying to do is by saying that I'm gonna die, so I need to get this done. I'm gonna do everything I can to do, you know. So that I would say that would have to be my way. Like I love what Gary Vee comes up with in like instant situations because a girl literally came up to him and was like, in 3 words, say something motivational. He's like, you're gonna die. Yeah, you're gonna die. And she's like, I love that. And I loved it too. I was like, damn, Gary Vee, be just he's too good. We don't deserve Gary Vee. He comes with so much knowledge and no one's taking like advantage. You're muted, bro. You are muted. And try one more time. No, I can't hear you. Here, try refreshing the page or something like that. Like, oh wait, whoa, hello.
How about now?
Okay, I can hear you. Perfect.
All right, cool.
But what were you saying before you were muted?
No, so I mean it's true. I mean a lot of people do take for granted the stuff he says. And something that simple. I mean it's a stupid I always used to think the saying was stupid, but it does make sense. But YOLO, you really
Mhm.
do only live once. Like it, it's a reason to do stupid shit, but it's also a really good reason to bust ass and to like to
Yeah,
get stuff done.
that
So
is true.
yeah, I say it not to do stupid stuff, but as a reason to like do smart things, you know?
Yeah, like use your life wisely, invest properly. Like I think that's another reason why I actually enjoy becoming like straight edge and everything, like not drinking or not smoking anything like that, because a lot of
Hmm.
times when I was like drinking and smoking and doing all that stuff, I could have been using that time wisely for something else in all reality. Like yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun. I feel like everyone should go through that moment of life where it's like just go out, party, have fun, do all that crazy stuff. But just know at one point you're gonna have to like stray yourself away from that and focus up on what you need to get done. Like if you want to keep partying, if that's how you make money, if that's how you want to live life, do it. But me personally, I didn't see that like being a consistent like entire life, you know?
Yeah, well, and it's easy doing that stuff to get like the case of the fuck it's, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's easy to be like yeah, I'm not feeling good. I'm just gonna get drunk, you know? Like
Yeah.
fuck it, you know? And
Yeah.
so it I found that in my life, and where um, it is something that I've decided for 6 months. I'm gonna stay away from all that stuff, and just focus on making money, gains in the gym, um, because it's true. I mean, you will die,
Mhm.
so and you never know when you'll die. I mean, I've that's definitely something that's been impactful to me, is death. With you know as you get older, more people die. It just happens. Like a couple years ago, my uncle died, in his late 50s. He had a heart attack. You know,
Mhm.
he was in southern Utah visiting his daughter who had just had a baby. Um, Driving his truck, pulling this big old trailer. He had a heart attack and died at the wheel. Um, and they crashed and it almost killed my aunt and one of my cousins.
Mhm.
So like shit happens. Crazy shit happens all the time. Um, I mean you really have to live every moment having that in the back of your mind so you don't take for granted anything.
Very true, very true. That's why again a lot of the stuff I do, I don't regret. Like I did some negative stuff in life, but I don't regret it because at the end of the day, I either enjoyed it or it was a lesson for me to learn, so that way I can
For
continue doing
sure.
what I'm doing. But yeah, moving on to the segment where I love bringing up people's like Instagrams and everything, and talk about a little bit about like what they post up or other little stuff that they discuss and everything. Let me switch up the scene and everything. Yeah, one of
Yeah.
right here I have your Instagram pulled up, and you be
Plug in
putting
my
in work.
laptop real quick.
All right, go for it.
I should have
Yeah,
been prepared.
he should have been prepared, bro. I could have been a lot more prepared, but something came up. That's why this podcast started a bit later than what we were planning for. But right here, just so that way you can hear me out and everything. What is it? It looks like you be putting in the grind because I remember when I first met you as well. You weren't looking like the way you're looking now. Like I've seen you do improvements compared to what you used to look like and everything. Like you went from just like a regular dad with, but like now just killing it again, like just killing it. Like look at you, and I ain't gonna lie, this camera does not do like give you the justice as in person because your body looks way more toned and like more physique in person that I've seen you. Just like look at that, like that's the type of Spider-Man I would love to be saved by, just being held by and everything.
Yes, sir. Well, I have to give a shout out to my personal trainer, Marcos, who you had on last time.
Yeah.
Um, he always tells me that it's not going to be too long before I'm bigger than him, but I have to remind him that, um, you know, it was him who sculpted me out of the marble.
Yeah.
He's made this body. Um, he's the one that made me the way I am. So if you think about it, I mean, you know, it's really his body too because he made it.
No, it makes sense because what is it? I just going off of your whole sculpting like way of like the way you said it, just sculpting your body and everything. All I can imagine when you were saying that was the episode of SpongeBob where Squidward has like this like big piece of clay or whatever it is, and he's trying
Yeah,
to teach people how to like draw it, like sculpt and everything. And
that's
I feel like
exactly what was in my mind, dude. That was
like
exactly what was in my mind.
like if I didn't like because Marcos has also helped me a lot with my workouts and everything like that. And I just barely yesterday I started going to the gym again, and he was telling me, he's like, make sure you're doing these type of workouts and everything like that so that we can like target the specific like muscles that you want to go for and everything. He's like, just know
Yeah,
what like at this moment, because you need to build up that muscle, you're not going to see what areas you need to work on until you're finally to the point where you want to be, and then you can focus even more on specific muscles. But going back to the thing, I feel like I don't know about you, but if I was just working out by myself, I would be like Squidward. I would do a little hit and everything would break. But he's like
yeah.
SpongeBob, bro. He knows what to do exactly. He just hits in, it comes out a perfect masterpiece, bro.
That episode's so good, man. That's literally exactly what I was thinking about when I use that analogy. It's true. But yeah, I mean it's true. I mean going into the like the fitness thing, I
Yeah.
mean I hated dips. Absolutely hated it. Um because I weighed so much that
Mhm.
doing dips was just it I sucked at it and I had to put like 100 pounds of resistance on like the pull-up machine that you could do resisted
Yeah.
pull-ups and resisted dips. I don't like I mean for one being extremely competitive with
Mhm.
Marcos. Definitely pushes me. It's a very, Vegeta Goku type relationship where
Yeah.
I'm driven by hate, but at the same time respect
Right?
that he's better than me. But so him right from the get go, he does unassisted dips like it's nothing,
Yeah.
um, and you could tell when he's showing off because he'll like jump up and then do a couple pull ups, and man, I hate that. But at the same time, it pushes me to be better. But but now I can do dips without any help at all. So it's just it's a process. I mean, I've lost about 35 pounds. Um, um, I was weighing, around 220 and above, and so I've definitely I've come a long way. So it's good, man. I like it.
Yeah, just keep it up, man. And then right here, let me pull up your the company that you be working with and actually helping run and everything. The shoe company, right? And it's
For
Seventh
sure.
Vial, right?
Yes, it is.
Seventh Vial. Damn, I'd be looking at some of these shoes. Like these are Yeezys, right? I think these are Yeezys. Yeah, these are Yeezys. I don't get the hype behind them. Do you like Yeezys? Me personally, they look alright, but they just look like a more
They're
expensive Adidas,
they are
and
so
that's
they're
what they
made
are.
by yeah. Yeah, the Yeezys are made by Adidas. It depends on the pair. Um, I used to hate them. Um, but they're starting to grow on me. On some people can just pull them off. Like
Mhm.
I have a couple people that I work with that wear them. I mean they're a little older. Not to say that they're for old people, but I mean they they have a they wear like these all black pairs, and they look pretty good on them. I don't. I mean they're not for me, but I know a lot of people can pull those off. Um, those those blue ones, the like suede blue ones, the bluebirds, those are lightnings. Those are pretty sick. We're getting a redrop of those pretty soon. We're out of stock of
Mhm.
those at the moment, um, but a lot of those are cool.
Yeah, what is it? I'm starting to realize that these are the shoes I'll be talking about. The Air Jordan 4 retros, but not the lightning ones. They were the red ones, just without like this little fishnet little thing. It was like
Oh,
red with
okay.
just black. Those were like the Jordans I had, and those were the ones that they stole. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm not
Jordan
liking your page right now because it's making me run through like memories.
Jordan 4s are very very popular, man. I've got 3 pairs of Jordan 4s on my Instagram right now. So
Damn,
yeah.
like
Well, those are
you guys.
fives actually. My bad. Those are sick. Those blue ones you just showed, they're called Bluebirds.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're Jordan fives. That's actually the pair my brother bought. Um,
They're actually
they're like
nice.
they're like suede. If you can't tell, they're
Mm-hmm.
amazing.
Yeah, they look nice. I think that's pretty cool. Like when they bring in that different type of fabric, not just like that really hard thing or just like straight cloth. I love when they
Yeah.
like test around with different types of fabrics. Like they're like I was at the store. I was at Foot Locker not that long ago, and I ran into some like really nice shoes. I was like, damn, these are nice. And then I also saw like those recyclable shoes that they actually did, or like just. Uh, they're like everything that shoe is made by like reused product, like either like bottled
Yeah.
waters and stuff like that. They're actually nice. Like I was looking, I'm like, damn, I might even cut myself some of these in the future. But the other ones I really fell in love with. And they're kind of like the idea of behind like uh the Yeezys, but they're like these LeBron shoes. They're it's all like cotton, like sewn up and everything like that. They're like pink on top. Like, I don't know what they are. I'm not good with shoe names. I just try to describe them as good as I can. But that's all it was, and I was like, damn, that they look nice. But just looking at these shoes right now, I remember there's this thing going around like on TikTok and all these other platforms where like they're actually talking about if you don't use your shoes, the sole, like the bottom, like it's called the sole, right? I think like the bottom
Yeah.
part of like the shoes, they like they will actually start deteriorating. Like you can run your finger and like it can break off, like if it's like it has like paint over it and stuff like that, you know. So like let me see what. So you know, like on like these like the shoes, how they have a different toned color and everything like that. If you run your finger,
Hmm.
sometimes like they will wear off. Or some of those like Jordans, where it's like a lot of what is it? It's like it's not like styrofoam. What's the word? It's like that cushion thing that like they're on Air Maxes and all those other type of shoes and everything. But like if you do not wear those shoes, they will easily like break off and everything like that. So I was like, oh, it's like so people really need to wear those shoes so that way they don't break off. Kind of like these like how the Air Jordan retros, like all that little design and everything and all that like stuff at the bottom, like that will start breaking off if you don't wear them. And it also wears off if you wear them, but like they say wear them so that way they last longer. Because if you just let
Yeah.
them sit, they're just gonna deteriorate themselves and everything. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh, there's so much to it. No,
Yeah.
is
There
is
really is.
is that why people like vacuum seal them up and everything like that to make them last longer?
Exactly.
That's what it is. All
Hmm.
right, all right. Here, look, I'll give you guys a follow because my brother more than likely will like to see your guys' post so that way he can buy some shoes or either I will in the future. I'm
Yeah.
really picky with
No,
my shoes. I don't know why.
we get premium content, like it says on the top of our Instagram there.
Mhm.
um, we're 100% authenticated. If not, we'll give you a full money back guarantee. We're actually working on getting 1,000. If you're part of that first 1,000, you'll be involved in a free raffle. All you need
Oh.
to get in, we'll give away some pretty sick shoes for free.
Mhm.
um, there'll be like a way, so once we hit 1,000, we'll give more information about how to get into that raffle, what you need to do to be a part of that. But you'll basically get a free pair of shoes with no money to be required put in there. Um, and like that, those one shoes in the top left hand corner, those pink ones,
Yeah.
um, those pink velvets, by the way, when they were released, um, they only released 3,000 of those in the U.S.
Damn.
Um, we own four of them.
Four of
Um,
them?
yeah, so
Huh.
which doesn't suck. Like we get really high quality stuff. We get rare stuff. So if you're looking for anything, hard to find, even we get things in all different sizes. So
Okay. And do you guys also take
definitely,
like any requests? So say if someone doesn't see what you guys have there, but like, hey, by any chance do you guys think you guys can get these shoes for me? Do you guys do
yeah.
like stuff like that for people?
Yeah, so we advertise the drops all the time, and
Mm-hmm.
basically what a drop is, it's just the official sale date of that particular shoe. So like Jordan and Adidas, what they do is they'll advertise upcoming um, different shoes, or they'll bring back a really popular pair that are all sold out, and like do a re-release. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's what a drop is. And so what we do is anybody who wants a particular size, we'll try to get those on the drop for them.
Yeah.
And we have our ways of being able to make sure that we can get exactly what you need.
There we go. That's honestly great because if you guys can provide that like service and everything, oh, you guys are gonna be just flying even higher with whatever shoes people need to get. And I bet you guys have good connections to get all this like good sourced like shoes and like well quality stuff and everything.
Yeah.
They look
No, we
really
do.
nice.
I'm very fortunate to be on the team that I am. I couldn't do any of this without, my two business partners. So I got lucky.
Well, that's great, man. I'll for sure put this down below and everything when I upload the YouTube video, so that way people can follow you guys and everything. And I'll make sure to shout it out and everything for you guys. But yeah, coming back to this picture, one thing I love about you as well is that you know how to rock anime, and we can always talk about anime stuff.
We could be here all day talking about anime.
We could. So everyone knows already that I love and adore One Piece. I'm actually wearing a One Piece shirt right now at the moment. But
Yeah.
what is it? Oh, I just barely got like the day it came out. Like literally, I was 1 minute late when it released. So, but I watched the episode as it released and everything, and I was like, oh, the 1,000th episode was so perfect for me, at least. I was like, I was loving it. I was like, oh, oh. It was like so many childhood, like just so many memories behind it, and every little thing about it. The one thing I didn't like I can't say I didn't fully like because I enjoyed the whole episode, but every like big moment, like monumental, like episode wise, they always introduce a new character. Like I know they introduced Ace, that was a big character. Riley, they introduced Luffy's dad, they introduced Sabo, stuff like that. Like they every time there's a big like moment situation, that episode they always introduce someone new. Like I know one of the big ones was as well Blackbeard, that was also introduced. So when I saw the episode, I was like, "Where's the character? Where's the character?" I was like, "I need to pay attention to every little detail," and they didn't show anyone. I was like, "Oh."
Mm.
But yeah, one question I love to ask people when they come onto my podcast, if they watch anime, is, what are your top three favorite animes?
Oh, that's so hard. Cause it, cause and most people who watch enough will,
Mhm.
I, it seems to me that it all depends on what you're watching right now, you know,
That is true. So
cause
look, I'll make it easier for you.
yeah,
Three favorite animes that you've already finished, or like older animes, you can say those, and like three current animes that you're like hyped on. How about that?
yeah, I could do that. I mean, the first anime I ever watched was Sword Art Online. So
Hmm.
I know we've talked about, that's always been my number one favorite anime for that reason, because it's what got me into it. Um, my brother, um, we're very close in age. We've been, very close our whole
Hmm.
life. Um, he's the one that got me into it, and that was what he told me to watch. Yeah, we grew up like any good kids, um, because I going back to like how I grew up. I mean, we never had like a gaming system. I mean, um, my first gaming console was a GameCube, and then after that, I had an Xbox 360. Like, I never had. It's like anytime people are like, "Oh, let's play Mario," I'm like, "No, I don't want to play Mario because I, I suck because I never played." You know, um,
Yeah.
but like we grew up outside. We built. I didn't have a treehouse, so I built one. You
Hmm.
know, we didn't have like much toys to play with, so we'd like make swords and stuff. So um definitely like that anime really spoke to me in that way, from my childhood.
Yeah.
So I always liked Sword Art Online. After that, I think the second anime I watched is Naruto. um Naruto is, especially most of Shippuden, and like the core story of Naruto, his growth as a character is someone I relate a lot to, um, and that's like the best. The best animes are things you can relate with and characters
Hmm.
you can relate to, and so definitely so Sao, Naruto, and I've always loved Dragon Ball. Um, all the stuff coming out with now, Super's fantastic.
Yes.
Um, I I'm really pissed that we haven't gotten any more yet.
Yeah, well, they for
But
sure announced that next year already. It's gonna be second season is gonna be coming out for Super, so I'm excited for that.
I know, and it's about time, dude. We've been waiting for years, and like
Yes.
when they came out with the Brawley movie, the whole hype was like, "Oh, this is a studio that's, you know, based specifically for Super. Like
Hmm.
it's a Dragon Ball only anime studio, which I was super excited about. But I mean, Goku's just a fantastic character. I love Goku. Um, his he's kind of stupid. Um, he did fall on his head at a young age, but pretty hard, almost killed him. But just his, you know, I mean it. Those three characters, especially, like, um, they they're. I mean, and that's what I like. Most of the animes I like is always a character that may not be the smartest, may not be the strongest, may not be the best, but they work very very hard
Hmm.
to be the best at what
Yeah.
they do. So um, what I'm watching right now, um, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of good stuff going on right now. I love Fire Force.
Oh, Fire
Fire
Force is
Force is
so
really,
good, man.
really good.
So good.
Um, Fire Force is so good. I cannot wait for more. Rising of the Shield Hero is fantastic. Um, that one's so good, dude. I mean, Goblin Slayer's so good. Um, dude, ReZero is super good. One Punch is good. I don't know.
There's too many to name.
There are. There's a lot of really good stuff going on right now. And that's the cool thing about how popular anime is right now. Like back in the day, like you're a pretty weird kid.
Yeah.
Like
You'd get made fun of, bro. You couldn't even
yeah,
talk
dude.
about it because if you were trying to make friends, none of the other kids would watch it.
And then there'd be those one kids that like when I was in junior high, man, they had like Leaf Village headbands. Like and they would wear them to school and I'm just like, what the fuck? It's like
You're looking at them, you fucking nerds, and now you're one of those
yeah,
fucking nerds.
I know. No, and it's funny because my brother and I we'd go up to those people
Hmm.
and we do like hand signs, and they'd get all excited and like do them back, and then I felt so I feel so bad now because my son will probably be one of those kids, you know,
But
and my
nowadays, it's
daughters
more
too, dude.
accepted. It's way more
Yeah,
accepted nowadays.
it it's true. It's true. I like my kids. Um, my daughter, when my son was born,
Mhm.
she was convinced that she was able to name him Naruto, and so for like a year, she'd get in arguments with people about how like her little brother, his name is Naruto. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but his name is Naruto.
It's Naruto.
So, but yeah, like it's cool and like they like to wear my girls are obsessed with Sailor Moon. Um like me and them have like matching Sailor Moon shirts and like my little boy loves My Hero. Wearing a My Hero Academia sweater and I didn't even mention that. But obviously My Hero is amazing, but um it's really cool. Anime's great, man.
It is great. It is great. So, did you see the movie already? The new My Hero movie? I personally haven't. I've been slacking
When
on
did
it.
it when
It
did it
it
come out?
it was October 29th when it came out.
Dude, I
So,
must have missed it. What's it
I
on?
you can check it at the theaters. It's still in theaters right now.
Well, let's go.
That's what me and Marcos and my brother were talking about. Like, we need to go watch this movie. I think we were gonna make some plans for today, but I think Marcos is gonna be busy. My brother's gonna be pretty much busy today, so we're trying to find out when we could go watch it because if we don't watch it like before it leaves the theaters, it's gonna take like
Yeah,
almost a year just to be released like in DVD or anything like that, and
right.
it sucks like
Yeah,
that. So yeah,
no,
once
for sure.
if we find out some details and everything and when we can go, I'll for sure hit you up, or I'll just comment, like I'll just text on the group chat that we have, and just let you guys know there. Like, all right, we have these days that we can go watch in. We'll try to see if we can make something work. But for
For
sure,
sure.
bro, we need to go watch it. I every time I go on TikTok, it pops up like little spoilers. I'm like, nope, go faster, go faster. Just that's what I was doing for that's what I do for all the animes I watch. Like if I see little spoilers, go up,
Yeah.
go up, go up. But yeah, like you mentioned all these animes. Have you seen the time I got reincarnated as a slime?
Yes, sir.
Bro, I love it. Have you? Are you fully caught up already?
Yeah.
Oh, they're actually releasing a movie next year.
Are they really?
Yeah,
That's
it got
dope.
announced that they're releasing a movie next year. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. Like, hopefully they don't end it with the movie. Hopefully they
I hope
continue
not.
with that because just alone, Rimuru is amazing.
He is. Like,
What one of my favorite characters is what is it? His assistant, the girl that like fangirls over him like no other, but she's so funny. Like
dude,
when
yeah.
they didn't mention to Rimuru on how bad of a cook she is. They're like, "Oh, I made you some food," so he's all hyped up. He's like, "Oh yeah, food," and you see all her friends and everything just sitting to the side, just like ignoring the fact that like they're just not trying to bring up that they know that she's an awful cook.
Yeah.
And he like looks at the food and it's just so disgusting and all this other stuff, and people could die to it and everything. And later on when I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it, but something later on happens where they all get granted a wish, and her wish is whatever she makes, no matter how ugly or bad it looks, it tastes amazing. Her
I remember that.
so I was like, oh, that's perfect. But yeah, I love that anime. It's one of those animes that I didn't expect myself to like because when the first
Same.
season was out, like I just kept seeing like, oh, people keep commenting like this is a good anime and all this stuff. I'm like, oh, I'll give it a chance later. And I think like I think it was like the third episode that released on season two. That's when I like finally jumped on and was starting to watch it like every day. Well, like
Yeah.
pretty much every week when they would release the new episodes. But yeah, it's such a great anime. It's one of those animes again I didn't expect myself to love.
Yeah.
Like my favorite one was one of like towards the end of the season. I think it was like the second last one or something like that. But the dragon, what's his name? What's his name? His best friend.
I'm bad with names, man.
I can't I can't remember his name, but
It's
he
isn't it something to do with like thunder?
yeah, it's like Thunder something like, but I
Yeah.
think it's I can't quite remember, but he's fighting this other character, and while he's fighting, he's doing Street Fighter moves, and on top of that,
Oh yeah.
he ends up doing the Kamehameha like Goku.
Yeah.
And he's like, when did he have time to learn all this stuff? But the thing was that it's because that giving a little story behind that anime is character dies from like our world and got reincarnated as a slime. So he brings all the like manga and all like the stuff that he knows about like the geeky stuff, and this dragon that was like living inside of him. When you watch the anime, you'll understand what I mean by that. But like he was living inside of him, so he saw all his memories, and he ended up reading all the mangas that he's ever read and everything. And so pretty much everything Rimuru knows, that dragon knows. And so he's over here fighting like this like really badass character, and he's over here just having
Yeah.
fun like Hadouken, Hadouken.
Yeah. It was so cool.
It was so, and he was doing like the spin kicks and everything, bro. Like even the character's like, what the fuck is going on? And the whole time
Yeah.
he's just having fun. Because that dragon, he's like one of the strongest characters on there, right? Just like because
Yeah.
dragons are usually like in fantasy worlds, they're usually the strongest character, like as in fairy tales, like folk tales and everything, all that stuff. But yeah, coming back to like other animes and everything, have you given any chances to like mangas or anything, bro? Like reading them or anything like that?
So I grew up collecting comic books. So
Oh,
it's definitely in my wheelhouse.
hmm
Um, I'm just I'd have to like make time to go and buy manga. Um, I'm probably you could probably buy it online, which I will eventually, but um, right now anime is free, manga's not. So
No, I mean you can go on those websites where like you can watch free anime, and they also have free manga sometimes.
oh, there you go.
They can just produce it right there. But yeah, one what is it? I wasn't gonna get into like reading mangas or anything like that because I'm like, I'd rather just wait for the anime and everything. But for my birthday that passed not that long ago, my brother showed up with like the first issue for One Piece for me, and
Oh, dope.
it's like, damn it! All right, I have to get
That's
on this grind. So
yeah.
I've been reading it. I I didn't realize a lot of people say like, oh, they don't do the same justice. Kind of like in the same thing with like other books, like other novels and everything, where they make them into movies. They don't put every exact detail that the book actually shows, because one of the things is on the anime of One Piece when they first introduce Luffy. Well, they introduce him the same way, like he leaves the island and he goes on his own voyage. But when like he runs into another group of pirates, he's just floating in the water and they bring him on top of the boat. But on the manga, they find him on like the shore and they bring him on the island, and so like they do little things differently and everything like that. But
Right.
yeah, like I didn't realize that two main characters from that anime get introduced in one single book, and I realized I was like, damn, that took like probably like 10 episodes or like 5 episodes. And over here in just one single book, it shows like all that stuff that took forever. So I have my little grind going on right now with this. So I only got so one, two, three, and then I skip four and go to five. The reason why I skip was because every time I see an issue like in the order I'm going, I grab it because these manga's hard to come by sometimes.
For sure.
Because I was just to get the fourth one, it's gonna get here until next year, and I'm like, ugh, because the thing with manga is they don't release like regular books where like they'll consistently be sending some books out. No, they send small amounts of like orders, and then they'll wait pretty much like another year and then resend another small amount of orders and everything. I'm like, damn it. So every time I get the chance, I always like try to get any issue I see, even if it's not in order. I try to get it so that way I can have the collection, because I'm trying to get the collection. I think they're already about to reach 100 in the US at least, issues of One
Jeez.
Piece. So I'm getting there because I think they have 130 in Japan issues for this. I'm like, oof. But yeah, it's one of the things. And then in the future, one thing I want to do is like for guests that I bring on and everything, I want to get them like the first issue of whatever anime they like their top one. So hopefully in the future I can do
Oh,
that for
dude,
you and Marcos.
that would be sick.
Yeah, I want to be like, and that also like hopefully when I do that is when I start doing the in person like podcast situations, like instead of over the like video. And if I start doing that stuff, I'll still send it to the people, but I just want to give it to them in person for sure, like those manga issues. But
Heck
yeah,
yeah, that'd be cool.
it's one of the things I want to do for sure. But one question I also like asking when we're in this anime segment is like, what what have you learned from anime that has helped you throughout life, that's actually like help you change something up in your daily life, or that you're like, you know what, I need to do that to do this or stuff like that? Like what's some knowledge that you grabbed from anime that you brought into your own life?
Yeah. I think like determination and willpower is a huge constant amongst main characters in most animes.
Hmm.
Um, like you look at, just to pull an anime, I mean a character like Asta in Black Clover. Um, I mean, for those who haven't seen it, he's a kid born in a world that magic is everything. Society's based on it. Um, you know, um, your social status is based on it, and him being born with without any magic at all. Um, I mean, a lot of people in that particular situation make excuses about like, oh, I'm born this way, and so like, that's just how it is. There's nothing I can do about it. Like, I can't change who I am, and enemy will take a character like that and make it his strength. Make his weakness into something that he's one of the baddest characters in the
Mm-hmm.
anime for the reason being that he doesn't look at it he doesn't look at it as an excuse or as a weakness. um, so I definitely that's something that I've attributed into my life is just anytime I'm feeling down or like lack of discipline or unmotivated, I'll watch anime and it always gets me pumped up. Because there's everyone's got their why for the anime.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody's got their reason why they do what they do, something that pushes them, that drives them to break their limits and to go plus ultra. um, you know break through their barriers, break their limits, their levels, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So I that's definitely something that I absolutely adore about anime, is for that reason.
No, and it's great because a lot of people, yeah, every time I bring this up, is just like a lot of people don't realize that anime is just more than just what people think is like. Oh, it's just a cartoon. No, it's more than that. Like, there's
Yeah.
like you learn a lot from it. Like one of the animes I learned the most was from One Piece and Naruto. Like Naruto, it gives you a lot of like knowledge, like life, not like lessons and everything that you can learn off of and everything. And I think it's so great how like something so simple like a character that's 2D can give you so much like heartwarming moments or like sad, like all these like moments where you see them going through so much stress and like depression and everything, but they still conquer and keep moving forward to keep doing what they need to get done. Like again, one of the funniest things I saw was someone made a meme like Oda, the creator of One Piece. He's like, yeah, Oda just woke up one day and he's like, you know what? For the next couple arcs, I'm gonna make my guy go through so much hell. And that was when his brother died. His crew was like separated. He was going through so much like situations, like his those arcs that were happening, or what like those moments that were happening, pretty much put Luffy so much through hell and everything. But like it was something that character needed to get done, so that way he could get a lot stronger and be the character he is now. And oh, it's so amazing. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like people don't realize that a lot of there's a reason why uh anime is so like popular and everything. And I was telling Marcos, I was like, yeah, and the funny thing is here in the US it's barely getting popular. Like I want to say like the past 2-3 years it's gotten really popular compared to what it was
Yeah.
so long ago. Because uh I remember I started watching, like fully dedicating myself again to like watching a bunch of anime was after I graduated high school. But before that I would watch here and there little things. But like even after graduated high school, it was back in 2015, like there was barely any like hype behind anime. Like there was very little people. Like the only ones that I saw that were like really hyped by anime was like either the Pokemon people or like the Dragon Ball people and Naruto. I think like just those three, like I would just see people like staying really consistent with, even if it wasn't that popular. And then out of nowhere all these different animes, and I think Demon Slayer and My Hero were actually some of the animes that like helped bring in more eyes to the actual like anime world. And that's the way I see it.
Mhm.
But it's just crazy how it's changed up so much. Because I remember, again, the only place you could watch anime back in the day was either on Toonami or on YouTube. Like
Yeah.
that's the only areas you could watch anime. Now you can watch it everywhere.
Yeah. No, I know Attack on Titan has been
Oh yes,
really, really crucial. I mean, Attack
yes.
on Titan's just it's it's blown up the
Mainly the
market.
past 2 seasons, like, and
Yeah.
the final part for the final season that's coming out. It's bringing a
Yeah.
lot of attention because it was there's only been 3 animes that actually broke down Crunchyroll server. The first one was Goku on Super versus, like, so it was Goku versus Jiren, the Ultra Instinct first introduction.
Oh, bro, yeah,
That
that
was the
was
first anime to ever break a website of how many people were trying to watch it. That was that one.
dude.
The first I think, yeah, it was the first episode of Attack on Titan, the final season. The very first episode, it broke so much and everything. And the newest one that just barely happened not that long ago was One Piece, the 1000th episode. It was the third anime to ever break Crunchyroll, like just shut down their whole system. Even One Piece even shut down so many systems of like those free streaming anime services and everything, like those
That's
websites where you can
crazy.
just pirated anime. But yeah, like they completely like broke down the servers and everything because so many people were watching it.
Yeah. Well, like what people don't understand is the biggest thing about anime is the emotional connection you get. You
Mm-hmm.
connect on emotional level in so many different ways with these characters. And that's what makes it different. That's what makes it special is that emotional connection you have. Like you feel everything. That's why there's so many popular videos on like TikTok where dudes are showing like their girlfriends like moments in anime and they're like oh it's not so bad, it's not so sad, and then they're like they get to that part like in Naruto, like when everyone knows what happens to Jiraiya, but like the girls would be like
Yes, they're
they're
all
like
tearing up.
bawling, dude.
Bro, they're like,
Yeah, they're
why
like
is he really gonna die?
I know, dude.
Bro,
And I
like
remember
it's
I remember being in that moment like just destroying me, you know? And it's so funny to see people who like have never seen or like when Naruto becomes Hokage, you know, and like Hinata and Naruto's wedding is just
Yeah.
crazy, crazy, just shit like that, you know?
Or like the
It's
moment where Naruto just barely got done fighting Pain, and
yeah,
Kakashi gets him, like he grabs him, and like the whole, it's the first view that you finally see that Naruto's getting fully accepted by the whole village. Before that, not
yeah,
everyone liked him, you know, like because his backstory, but it was that first moment where like he finally felt accepted by everyone in his village because he saved the village.
dude. That when he shows up and like Sakura screaming
Right?
Naruto, dude.
It's one of the
Oh my
biggest
god.
entrances of anime, bro. Like,
It is.
oh,
And he just shows up, bro,
like
and
a
you're just like,
badass.
yeah, yeah. It's just yeah, there's just little moments like that. They're just it nothing can duplicate it. Nothing.
Very true.
And
Very true.
unless it's another anime, but
Yeah,
it's it's
I
crazy.
feel like a lot of people just need to give a chance to anime because you can
Yeah.
make fun of the jokes and everything about like, oh, anime's not that good or it just looks stupid, but once you start watching it and you get to go through that stuff, you're like, damn, it brings tears sometimes. Because
Yeah.
the couple animes that did bring like a small amount of tears to me, I was like, damn, like I really want to ball out, was the Jiraiya's death. What is it?
100%.
Ace's death on One Piece, uh, Karno Sensei from Assassination Classroom,
Yeah,
and
dude. That
what
was
is it?
rough.
It was rough. Like, oof, you're
That
like,
was rough.
oh, there's that. Another one. What is it? Happened not that long ago. Damn it.
Oh, bro, Demon Slayer,
Oh, Rengoku.
uh, Rengoku, dude. Oh,
Yep, that is one. Like, and like it's not the fact that he's like dying, but the fact, like the part where like he sees his mom. That's the part that got me. Like where he like sees his mom's spirit and everything. Like that's the part I was like, oh shit, that's gonna make me bawl. Like that part where he was like, "Mom, I carried out my mission and everything. Did I do good?" And all this other stuff. I was like, God damn, like fucking anime.
dude, seriously.
It's so good. They just need to give it a chance. But coming towards the end of this podcast and everything, one question I love to ask people, and hopefully you can help out with the situation. What is it? As a daily life of those guys that are trying to talk to girls and everything like that, do you have any advice that you can give or that you've heard from someone that you can give out to help that one guy that's trying to approach girls or talk to them?
So, and that you probably got a healthy amount of this from Marcos, but um, something that I've been relying on a lot is the Fresh and Fit podcast. Um, they're doing amazing things. They're helping so many people. The fact that everything they do is at the moment for free, and so much free information they give is just it's really good. And I mean, I grew up as the oldest, and most times, the oldest in the family tends to be a lot more shy, um, because they didn't really have. I mean,
What are you talking
I didn't
about?
really.
I'm the oldest. I ain't
Well,
shy.
most times, like
Okay, yes, I
I,
can see that.
I grew up, I grew up super shy, and most people who are the oldest, a lot of times, can be shy. But like once they get comfortable with somebody, like they'll talk your ear off, you know. Um, but what I've learned as far as all you got to do is you really got to work on yourself. You know, you got to go to the gym so you can be confident. You got to look good. Um, at the same time, you got to be disciplined and working on being able to provide.
Mhm,
Because like that's what a girl wants. They want to feel protected. They want to feel provided for. They want to feel like you can take care of them. Um, so for me, the key to having success in any of that type of situation, is you got to be that type of person to where, you have to be a confident leader that, um, you just have to have that type of mindset. And if you're that type of person, I mean, a girl's gonna want to follow that. Um, it's in our DNA.
it is very true. It is very true, and that's some great advice because confidence can boost up anyone's like confidence itself. Just work on yourself, build that confidence, and easily you're gonna realize that you can talk to that one girl that you were so scared to talk to because you were shy to talk to them. Just get that
Yeah,
confidence. It'll be a lot easy for everyone. It'll just get that train moving and everything. But I want to thank you, William, for being on my third episode on this podcast and everything. Last couple seconds is all for you. So give shout outs, call out whatever you want to do. Plug in your all your social medias, whatever you want to do. But these last couple seconds are yours. So go for it.
yeah. No, I this was super fun. I can't wait to do it again. Definitely for sure. Focusing on building up my Instagram page, for our sneaker sales, Seventh Vial. Um, just search at sevnthvial. Um, like Abraham says, he'll put a link in the bio for you. We're trying to get to 1,000 right now, so if you'd like to be part of that first 1,000, go definitely check that out. And then I'm always working on stuff and got lots more to come.
All right. That's perfect, man. All right. Well, thank you again. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in on today's podcast. Hope to see you guys this Friday again. I'll have something big for you guys this Sunday. So tune in for that one. Take care, you guys. Bye bye.